From the Greek islands come the mysteries of oregano. From sun-baked California, the aroma of garlic. From the jungles of Indonesia, the power of black pepper. From southern France, the essence of sweet basil. Exotic natural spices, all secretly blended into a zesty tomato sauce. Now you know one of the reasons why Stouffer's lasagna is as good as can be.
New Seagram's Cooler. Taste it all.
Taste it all.
Reward yourself. New Seagram's Cooler. A great break from beer.
Taste it all.
More with it than wine. New Seagram's Cooler.
Taste it all.
A refreshing combination of cool white wine with a touch of crisp, sunny citrus. Tastes clean, fresh, refreshing. You deserve it. Refreshing Seagram's Cooler. It's earned the Seagram name. New Seagram's Cooler.
Taste it all.
Excuse me, why don't you use a food processor?
They're not for me. Too big, too complicated, too hard to clean.
Not anymore.
Cute. What is
The
it?
new Oscar food processor from Sunbeam.
How's it work?
Put in the onion.
Quick.
Beef.
Powerful. Let me. I could use Oscar every day. It's even easy to clean.
It sure is.
Oscar stays with me.
Oscar, the food processor for all of us from Sunbeam.
Even though teaching tools have changed over the years, two things about teachers haven't. They still care about kids, and their day still doesn't end at 3 o'clock. The Apple II, there's no telling how far it can take you.
Death of a Salesman will continue.
When it looks like there's no way out.
I'm just so scared. He's been hounding me for about a month. What can you do?
He's the one you can turn to.
I'm going to take care of you.
He's the equalizer, and he'll be there for you.
Trust me.
Premiering Wednesday on CBS.
Coming to CBS Friday, September 27th. Discover that life still holds certain haunting surprises in the Twilight Zone.
CBS Sports Break, sponsored by Budweiser Beer.
Good evening. Week 2 of the NFL season and another big upset. The Dallas Cowboys, who looked like world beaters last Monday night, were knocked off by the Lions in Detroit. Now, Darryl Rogers is 2-0, having taken over the Lions this year. But last year's Super Bowl team, San Francisco and Miami, came back from opening day losses with victories. And the good news continues for Viking fans everywhere. Bud Grant, back in charge at Minnesota, is now 2-0. The Vikes beat Tampa Bay. More after this.
This Bud's for everyone who scrapes it, sprays it, and lays it on smooth.
This Bud's for you.
In baseball, the Mets and Cardinals both won to keep pace in that hot National League Eastern Division race. St. Louis still leads it by a half game. Toronto made it 3 in a row over the Yankees to take a commanding 4.5 game lead in the American League East. And in golf, the United States lost the Ryder Cup for the first time since '57. For CBS Sports Break, I'm Brent Musburger.
This is CBS. You're really on the move all over the West for business and pleasure. And because you're on the move, you need a bank that can keep pace with you. Well, when it comes to banking, there's a bank that's setting the pace. First Interstate Bank, the only bank system that's all over the West. And the only bank that offers a bank card, which lets its customers cash a personal check, get cash instantly, and has full-service banking offices in more Western business cities, in more Western vacation cities, in more Western cities, period, than any other bank system. So come to the bank that can keep pace with you. First Interstate, the bank that's setting the pace.
Medical malpractice.
Monday at 10.
Death of a Salesman, sponsored by Apple Computer, makers of the Macintosh and Apple II families of personal computers. There's no telling how far they can take you.
Wonderful coffee.
You could get a graphic design service to do this in maybe a week. You could get your art department to do this in about 3 days. You could get a typesetter to do this overnight. Or you could get the Macintosh office and do all this yourself over lunch.
Ah, the joys of lean cuisine. The calories, always under 300. The choices, chicken à l'orange, fish jardiniere, chicken cacciatore, and more. The taste, so delicious, so delightful, you'd think it was fattening. And that brings us to the result. Hip, hip, hooray.
Lean cuisine entrees from Stouffer's. You'll love the taste, and you'll love the way it looks on you.
Call any Air Express company and ask if they'll guarantee to give the exact status of your package within 30 minutes or your money back.
Yeah, well, the thing is...
Call someone else and ask if they'll guarantee to deliver your package on time or your money back.
Well, gee,
Then call Federal Express and ask us the same questions.
Absolutely, positively, or your money back, sir.
The GE 2800 dishwasher. It does almost everything but clear the table.
GE, we bring good things to life.
Give me the sun, give me the wine, give me some country wine cooler. Give me the fun, give me the wine, give me the real juice cooler.
Don't give me heavy, just give me light.
All we want is a taste that's right. Give me real fruit, give me white wine, give me great taste, give me some of mine. Give me the sun, give me the wine, give me some country wine cooler.
The real juice cooler.
Yeah.
This is how many parents all across America find out about the Apple IIc. Parents buy their kids an Apple IIc because Apples are the leading computers used in schools. Then they discover how easy it is to set up and use, how it can help them with things like business and home finance, and how that can help them spend more time with their kids.
Hi, Dad.
I'm Doug Murphy, live in the Eyewitness Newsroom. Here are some of the stories we're working on right now for Nightcast at 11. Family in the Bay Area, the family of Minister Benjamin Weir, still trying to find out tonight if he has been released by terrorists in Lebanon. His daughter, Chris Weir, says that she finds the report that he's been freed hard to believe.
We've been through this, I'd say, at least 4 times in the last month. And on one occasion, we were led to believe that the release was imminent, that it was going to happen within 24 hours. And my sister and I cleaned the house, and we packed our bags, and we waited, and we waited, and we waited, and nothing happened. We were given indications that he'd be released this last weekend, that he'd be released on Tuesday. And so today, when we get this report, I'm having a difficult time believing it.
We'll be back with more in just a moment. Now this.
Victory can be sweet, but your soft drink should be refreshing. Today's Pepsi Light.
Normally you see me jumping around, going through brick walls. But you know, I can get serious when it comes to talking sports. Real sports. With team players like Wayne Walker and Joe Fonzie on Channel 5 Sports. They put you right in the middle of the action with great highlights. Predictions you can count on. Sports, you know what I mean? Not a lot of bull.
Wayne Walker and Joe Fonzie on Eyewitness News. Good sports, no bull.
Right, and they got linebacker eyes.
Also tonight on Nightcast, terrorists in Denmark have started a bombing campaign against Jewish establishments. 12 people have been injured, while in the Philippines, a grenade attack at a theater has killed 35 people. Los Angeles Mayor Tom Bradley has lashed out at the nation's Islamic leader, Louis Farrakhan. Great Britain is considering more Soviet expulsion. Jews here in the Bay Area and around the world celebrate Rosh Hashanah, and we'll take you to the Castro Street Fair. Also tonight, Joe Fonzie will have the highlights of the 49ers' big win over Atlanta. That story and more at Nightcast on 11.
This is Apple's Macintosh. And this is some of the software that's being developed for Macintosh. At the rate of one new program every business day. Exactly how much software is that? We'll give you a hint. Macintosh, the computer for the rest of us.
You could choose Heineken solely because it's far and away Europe's favorite, and Europeans know their beer. Or you could choose Heineken because it's far and away America's #1 imported beer. Americans know their beer too. Or you could open it and pour it and choose it for the best of all possible reasons. Heineken is the best beer in the world.
Come to think of it, I'll have a Heineken.
We're all born with the capacity to give, to share. But as we grow, we get busy. We forget. To help revive those childlike qualities, American Express is launching Project Hometown America. Each time you use the American Express card, you'll help your community unite to solve its problems. For the sake of your hometown and the child within us all. Don't leave home without it.
All of my work as carpenter and painter is paying off. You wouldn't believe the change in this place. Or, for that matter, the change in me. I colored my hair with Nice and Easy. The color looks like I was born with it. And it feels like a whole new head of hair. Jim asked me how I do it all. Mother, maintenance person, and beautiful blonde. I told him Nice and Easy. That's my style.
Excuse me, why don't you use a food processor?
They're not for me. Too big, too complicated, too hard to clean.
Not anymore.
Cute. What is it?
The new Oscar food processor from Sunbeam.
How's it work?
Put in the onion.
Quick.
Beef.
Powerful. Let me. I could use Oscar every day. It's even easy to clean.
It sure is.
Oscar stays with me.
Oscar, the food processor for all of us, from Sunbeam.
If your kids know more about computers than you do, get an Apple IIc. It's easy to set up and use, and it runs over 10,000 business, home finance, and educational programs. In fact, Apples are the leading computers used in schools. Who knows? With an Apple IIc, you might even impress some experts.
Death of a Salesman will continue.
Wednesday.
We are in a maximum security prison.
Not for long. Stir Crazy is breaking out as a new series, and Flip Wilson and Gladys Knight have got their hands full.
Please don't ever leave me alone with them again.
Charlie and Company. Then meet a funny lady with a secret on the premiere of the George Burns Comedy Week.
We only have a half hour.
All Wednesday.
Coming Sunday, September 29th. Elizabeth Montgomery, Ray Walston, Pat Morita, Dorothy McGuire, and Kirk Douglas as Amos.
This is CBS.
I'm Kate Kelly in the Eyewitness Newsroom. Here's some of the stories we're working on for Nightcast. The family of Oakland Minister Benjamin Weir is still waiting to find out if he has been freed. Earlier, a caller to the Reuters news agency claimed that the Islamic Jihad had released him. We'll have an update. Also, the uproar over remarks by Nation of Islam leader Louis Farrakhan. And Joe Fonzie will have highlights of the 49ers' dramatic come-from-behind victory. Now this.
Introducing Arrowhead Mountain Spring Water. The only way to bring you water this delicious is to go up and get it. Arrowhead, water from a higher source.
Those stories and more on Nightcast at 11.
How much did the phone company spend on you last year? I'll bet you spent plenty on them. Sprint spent $1 billion to give you clean, clear connections. That's about $500 a customer. And they spend time on you, too. You can talk to someone at Sprint 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. $500 a customer. Now, anyone who spends on you like that is worth getting to know. Call Sprint. Find out about it.
The Chronicle is a partner in what I do in the city. I always read the business page. Now, the business people, the corporate people would like for me not to, because you see, I see on there what their earnings are, and if they're really great, they go on my list for fundraisings. Well, I never sit down. I sort of am on the run. I have a phone in one hand and the Chronicle's in the other hand. I don't even know anyone that doesn't take the Chronicle every morning. And you don't take the Chronicle? You're fired.
Medical malpractice.
Monday at 10.
Death of a Salesman, sponsored by Stouffer's Entrees and Lean Cuisine Entrees. Quality, variety, and great taste. Foods for the way people eat today from Stouffer's.
Sure, in the front there, you're in the middle of all kinds of noise. Whenever you got a party, Mr. Loman, you just tell me, I'll put you back in.
From the floor of the San Joaquin Valley, between the Sierra Nevadas and the Pacific Ocean, comes an incomparable green pepper. Stouffer's calls it the California Jade. Block-shaped and a bit squat, it splits into crisp halves of firm texture and unvarying flavor. Now you know one of the reasons why Stouffer's baked, stuffed green peppers are as good as can be.
Neither rain, hail, sleet, nor snow can keep an Apple personal computer from its appointed rounds. Each morning, the Beaumont's Apple II delivers Paul's mail right over the phone lines. It goes to the bank for Barbara. And since their school district also uses apples, it can even help Stephen with his homework.
Stephen?
Whether he likes it or not, the Apple II, there's no telling how far it can take you.
Oh, we forgot to ask them about...
Right. I'll get them before he gets back in the truck.
Ever get the feeling when you buy something that once you get it home, you're out on your own? Well, it's a lot different with GE. We have an answer center to help you 24 hours a day. Servicemen who show up on schedule. And with GE financing, you may be able to get a new kitchen practically overnight. With GE, you'll never feel alone.
GE, we bring good things to life.
There she goes, she's got the wind in her hair, she's got a red hot alliance, let's put her there. Your body moving, flex the shining body to go. Just like wind, a racing Renault.
The Flex Bodybuilding System shampoo, conditioner, and mousse brings you the Flex Renault Wind in Your Hair sweepstakes. Pick up your entry blank wherever Flex is sold, and you could win one of 50 new Renault Alliance convertibles.
Come on, get Flex, and you could be there.
Call any Air Express company and ask if they'll guarantee to give the exact status of your package within 30 minutes or your money back.
Yeah, well, the thing is...
Call someone else and ask if they'll guarantee to deliver your package on time or your money back.
Well, gee,
Then call Federal Express and ask us the same questions.
Absolutely, positively, or your money back, sir.
Using an Apple II is very easy. The only hard part is getting your kid away from it. You see, Apples are the leading computers in schools, so even though you bought it to help you work at home, your kid will want to use it for his own homework. Of course, if all else fails, there's one last thing you can try. Get him an Apple of his own. The things people go through, making their presentations more presentable, making their memos more memorable, making themselves understood. That's one reason we invented the Macintosh office, to improve the way people communicate by turning ideas that look like this into ideas that look like this.
The power of sheer energy pantyhose comes from special springy fibers that massage and soothe your legs. Energy you can feel to put on the power, day and night.
Put on the power of sheer energy.
From legs, in colors too.
There's something new for big cheese lovers.
Velveeta extra thick slices are here.
They're a whole lot more of what you love slices for.
That's new Velveeta extra thick.
Extra thick, no other slice goes to such great heights.
Big enough for the biggest cheese appetites.
No other slice will ever suffice. For a slice that's extra thick, there's only one slice to pick. There's no single slice like Velveeta.
Extra thick.
Karen Bryant is about to sit down with one of her favorite Saturday morning programs. On the family's Apple II. It's the leading computer in school, so it can teach kids everything you want them to learn. Well, almost everything.
Death of a Salesman, sponsored by Apple Computer, makers of the Macintosh and Apple II families of personal computers. There's no telling how far they can take you.
If you would like to read more by Arthur Miller, the Library of Congress suggests these books. Salesman in Beijing by Arthur Miller, The Theater Essays of Arthur Miller, edited by Robert A. Martin, and A View from the Bridge by Arthur Miller. These and many other interesting books are waiting for you in your local library and bookstore. Visit them. They'll be happy to help you read more about it.
Read More About It is a dramatic partnership between television and books. Since 1979, CBS and the Library of Congress have pioneered to tell the watching world there's a lot of television worth reading about. Ever since actor Richard Thomas, after All Quiet on the Western Front alerted viewers to books about World War I, nearly 100 CBS programs and hundreds of books have helped us link the pleasure, power, and excitement of books and of television.
Beginning Monday, September 23rd, CBS lays its cards on the table. One whole week of premieres, exciting new series, and a new season of all your favorites. Premiere week on CBS. It starts with Scarecrow and Mrs. King.
Morning, Amanda. Here's the assignment.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Is Amanda mixed up with an international terrorist?
Don't get close enough to find out.
But she might not have a choice.
I'm going to have to kill her. A good friend of mine is getting too close to some pretty scary people, and she doesn't know it.
Then, Jackie Gleason and Art Carney in the comedy reunion of our time. They're Prohibition's finest booze busters. The honeymoon's over, but the fun's just beginning.
I'm Izzy.
And I'm
Mo. Izzy and Mo. Then move to Hometown when Hometown moves to Tuesday.
I don't have to defend myself. The truth will come up.
One of the Hometown gang finds himself slapped with a paternity suit.
I could be that little boy's father.
And his predicament sparks a lot of soul-searching.
If I want to have my own kids, I'm going to have to start making some choices and fast.
Call me Sheldon. What's so special about kids?
Hometown.
Can't do this, Jeff.
It could happen to anyone.
I have never been unfaithful to my husband.
How do you choose between your marriage and what you can't resist?
Where were you 15 years ago?
Lindsay Wagner.
What are we going to do?
Jack Scalia, The Other Lover. The only all-new night on network television is Wednesday on CBS.
we didn't do it.
Framed for murder and on the run, using every trick in the book to stay free man.
I'm having a terrific time.
Stir Crazy, the series. followed by Flip Wilson and Gladys Knight in the Family Fun Fest Charlie and Company. And George Burns opens the door each week for hilarious new comedy.
Thank you, but that's enough.
Then The Equalizer. Unlike anyone else you'll meet on television, meet him Wednesday. And pack your passport Thursday for a thrilling London adventure with TV's hottest private eye.
Isn't that funny how things have a way of working out?
The action sizzles when Magnum P.I.
Hold on.
Gets entangled in a scandalous love affair.
It sounded like a good idea.
And a murder conspiracy that could rock the empire. A 2-hour season premiere of Magnum. Then, travel to a place where both love and hate burn with obsession. Where the hearts of men and women are seduced by wealth and power. Some are tainted by forbidden love. Some by greed. Others by a dream of love that could destroy them. Here, where the good may become the passionate prey of the bad. These are the lives and the passions that ignite the season premiere of Knots Landing. Friday, we deal you a card from the bottom of the deck, one which once vanished and now reappears in your dreams. Journey again with America's top storytellers to a land bounded only by imagination. The new, uncharted regions of the Twilight Zone. Then, the one you waited for, now share their darkest hour.
Bye, Bobby. I miss you.
Their lives will change in ways no one could ever imagine. The shock.
Pamela Barnes Ewing. I leave sole ownership.
The pain.
I hate you.
The anger.
I don't have a wife. You don't exist.
And the future.
Well, you know me, honey. Always full of surprises.
The dramatic 2-hour premiere of Dallas. Saturday roars onto your screen to avenge the helpless.
Ew.
To free the enslaved.
Ew.
To wield justice on the unjust.
Ew.
America needs her now more than ever before. The explosive season premiere of...
Ew.
Then it's the Great American Vacation when Dad...
What smells in here?
Mom... and...
Weirdo-rama.
the kids
Really?
get away from it all.
Waitress.
Visit the relatives. Commune with nature. And see the sights.
Are you gonna go for it?
Chevy Chase and John Candy in the original smash hit National Lampoon's Vacation. And who is that snooping around, poking her nose into baffling murders on Sunday night?
I haven't got a clue.
Come now, Jessica Fletcher. We know you're starting a brand new season of delicious mysteries. And sooner or later, you've got all the clues.
I do believe I'm making someone nervous.
We'd be nervous, too, if America's top sleuth was hot on our trail. The poor killer hasn't got a chance.
You can't expect to get away with murder.
Murder, she wrote. Then, his only crime was growing old. His sentence was the Sunset Home. And his story is an incredible act of courage.
Getting out. There's only one way out of here. It's in the back.
He stood alone against a nightmare gone out of control.
You killed the guy on my team. You answer to me.
And exposed a shocking scandal beyond belief. Elizabeth Montgomery, Ray Walston, Pat Morita, Dorothy McGuire, and Kirk Douglas as Amos.
Hope you'll give him hell. Count on it.
The new season, every night of the week, is an adventure sparkling with stars and excitement. The new shows packed with laughter and action. The movies, box office hits, and original productions. And all of the shows and stars you've made your favorites year after year. Returning in a fabulous week-long celebration of the best in television entertainment. Premiere Week on CBS.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States.
Good evening. I want to take this moment to bring you a special message that has become an annual tradition in our nation. Every president dating back to Calvin Coolidge in 1927 has kicked off the United Way campaigns, first on radio and then on national television. With your support, the more than 2,000 United Way campaigns will raise over $2 billion to make possible the work of 37,000 voluntary groups and over 30 million volunteers, the largest single voluntary effort in our nation. But the United Way is much more than just a fundraising campaign. It's America at its best, a system of local voluntary participation of people helping each other in their communities, from government to corporations to unions, mom and pop stores and schools and churches, all working together. Earlier this year, I spoke of a second American Revolution, of a nation and people living freer, stronger, and more secure. That freedom in our lives has never been more evident. We are already nurturing new seeds of prosperity through a rebirth of economic growth. But tonight, I'd like to report on an even more basic and vital part of that revolution, a revolution of spirit, of volunteer spirit. Our way of life and our tradition of neighbor helping neighbor are only possible because of our unique American system, a precious freedom that ensures individual volunteer action, people freely working together to help each other. This renewal of volunteerism can be seen throughout our nation. Between 1980 and 1984, for example, total giving in our country rose by 51% to a record $74 billion. And that number happens to be greater than the gross national product of more than half the nations of the world. Over the past 4.5 years, the American people have gained new confidence in themselves and a new optimism about our nation's future. And in every instance, from the boardrooms of corporations to the waiting rooms of human service agencies, it's the individual volunteer and the basic voluntary act that exemplifies our responsibility and caring for our fellow man. Most of these people aren't famous. You probably wouldn't recognize them if you saw them. They're just everyday Americans. But make no mistake, they're heroes, real American heroes. One such hero is Irv Klein. For years, Mr. Klein rode his bicycle around New York City, clearing vacant lots and planting gardens and flowers to replace wine bottles, beer cans, and trash. With the help of United Way venture grants, Mr. Klein and neighborhood groups turned 6 acres of abandoned lots into the largest urban vegetable garden in New York City. Now, low-income families grow vegetables, and inner-city children pick strawberries they themselves have planted. All because Irv Klein, helped along by United Way, made things happen. The United Way is working to make things happen in a city hospital, where doctors, pharmacists, and other healthcare professionals are volunteering their time so that needy individuals can receive adequate health care. Requests for medical services are coordinated through the United Way's hotline, information, and referral center, linking patients with physicians who have volunteered to take their cases. The services provided by the United Way exemplify the willingness and generosity of our people. So tonight, to all the United Way volunteers, to all of you starting up campaigns in your towns and cities, to all the countless volunteer agencies providing professional services to people in need, and to all who care and give so much, my heartfelt thanks. You are guardians of our greatest treasures, the good and decent and noble virtues of the American heart. Our nation will not be measured as much by its power or wealth as by the simple generosity and sense of justice of a people who believe in the freedom and dignity of each individual. As anthropologist Margaret Mead once observed, if you look closely, you will see that almost anything that really matters to us, anything that embodies our deepest commitment to the way human life should be lived and cared for, depends on some form, more often many forms, of volunteerism. We can all give more of our time and our resources. The challenges are all around us. We are a people who care. What makes America so unique is that we're not afraid to dream great dreams, and with God's help, to join together to make those dreams come true. Thanks to you, it does work for all of us. The United Way. Good night, and God bless you.
This is CBS.
Eyewitness News Nightcast is next. Tonight, the family of Oakland minister Benjamin Weir may have been the victims of a cruel hoax. There is still no word whether he's been released. And a freight train loaded with deadly sulfuric acid derails in Texas, forcing hundreds to flee for safety.
Also, Los Angeles Mayor Tom Bradley tries to distance himself from a controversial black leader. Bay Area Jews celebrating Rosh Hashanah, and 49er fans celebrating a victory on the home turf.
We'll have that story and much more coming up next on Nightcast.